Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for a match of the URC, a nice Irish derby before Christmas between Leinster and Ulster. Now, Ulster come in as quite big underdogs for this contest, but they have been very decent throughout this URC season, so Leinster will have to play well to get themselves the victory. Currently, the way that the table sits, we'll just bring it up here in a very short moment. There we go. Stormers, they are top of the bunch. They have had 6 wins from 6. Cardiff in second, Munster in third, and then Ulster in fourth, Leinster in sixth. That is an unfamiliar spot for the side that were able to win it last year or last season of the URC, but they are at home for this contest, sitting 3 wins, 3 losses, and we've got to remember, Ulster still have that game in hand, that game that got delayed due to, I think it was up against Edinburgh and the weather that we did see for that contest, but very intriguing to see what happens for this game. Looking through the starting lineups, first of all for Leinster, it is a stacked side for this contest. Jack Boyle in the front row alongside Gus McCarthy and also Slimani as the number 3. Deeney and James Ryan as the locking duo with Soroka, Penny and Jack Conan to close out the dangerous 4-pack. Luke McGrath and Sam Prendergast as that 9 and 10 combo. Tector in the midfield alongside Rico Ioane, who has recently ended up in that Leinster side. And out on the wings, James Lowe, Kenny and then Frawley as that number 15. Looking through at Ulster's starting lineup, they are going to be as follows. Angus Bell, the Aussie, in that number 1 jersey. Tom Stewart and Tom O'Toole as the other 2 in the front row. Sheridan and Irvine in the locking duo with McCann, Timoney and Ioano Augustus at number 8. I feel like that's where Ulster can really make some damage or do some damage throughout this contest with the players that they've got selected there. Though up against a dangerous loose forward trio for Leinster in this game as well. The 9-10 combination is Nathan Doak alongside Murphy. Now, Doak has been in some tremendous form for Ulster throughout this season. McCloskey and Postlethwaite in the midfield. Vernicock, Ballacoon, and also Stockdale at number 15. Now, I am dealing with a lot of hay fever at the moment, ladies and gents, so there will be plenty of times that I have to pop off to the side to sneeze. This is going to be one of them. I will very quickly mute 1 second. We are good, and that will be a regular occurrence on the stream. I can tell already. I feel like I'm going to sneeze every 5 seconds, but I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're all excited for Christmas, as well as the couple derbies that we're going to see later on in this round of the URC. Just looking at recent form for these two sides, but first of all, we'll look at the chat. Will that Augustus ever make a box side? Well, he was in the squad, but then he ended up injured, and he was on standby, but then he ended up injured. So if he can avoid injury, I think he will be in the Springboks. But his biggest problem at the moment has been his own body at this point in time. So, like, honestly, with the amount of players that Rassi tried just throughout 2025, had it not been for those little couple knocks along the way, he would have got his debut for the Boks. We have got there Zebre was in first position a couple of weeks ago, now 11th. See Xander, that can happen. You know, the ups and downs of a competition. They are still ahead of Benetton, though, in the overall URC standings in terms of those Italian sides. So that is one massive bonus for the Zebre side. We have got there as well, who to win, lads? Well, it's a tricky one. Leinster are the favourites, but Ulster, for me, are much more in this game than the $4 underdogs that they're considered. Now, if this game was taking place in Ulster, I think that they would almost be, for me, favourites. In this game, I love getting hay fever and sneezing. I find it satisfying to sneeze. Sometimes I agree with you. On a live stream, it makes it a little bit more difficult, though. Sneezing every 5 seconds. But yeah, sometimes a good sneeze goes a long way. And I am about to sneeze again. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We are good. Again, hopefully. Going to be one of those days, I can tell already. We have good evening, Hamish. Late here. How's your side doing? Other than the sneezing, it's great. I'm excited for this game. This is one of those matches that I really wanted to watch. And definitely because I did miss out on doing a couple of the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup games last weekend, definitely involving Leinster. I wanted to do that Leinster game. I didn't get the chance to, but it was a pretty decent fixture from the looks of it. In the end, 23 points to 15 in favour of the home side, favour of the away side in that game. Leinster, the game prior to that, they were able to get themselves a big win in the Champions Cup, 45 points to 28 over the always dangerous Harlequins, who absolutely love a comeback, but in that contest, Leinster just too strong got into a great dominant position. Their game next week, though, for the Leinstermen, that's going to be up against Munster, away from home. Now, last year, I want to say that was a really good game. Or in fact, it was earlier this season that we saw those two sides play. And we did end up seeing, I believe it was the Munster underdog win up against Leinster for that contest. But as you can see, the odds there, $4.10 underdogs for this game, Ulster. But I wouldn't completely count them out of this contest. Overall, for Ulster, they were able to have a huge win in the Challenge Cup. So they are not in the same grouping as Leinster, although they could be, depending on where Leinster finished. Theoretically, if they finished in 5th, they could end up in that same group. But 61 points to 7 for Ulster over Racing. And then the loss to Cardiff last week, that was one that wasn't really supposed to happen. And they'd be pretty frustrated about. But next game up against Connacht, I'm going to sneeze again. This is fun. There we go. I'm back again. What's that, 3 and 5 minutes? That's got to be a record, doesn't it? But now, these two sides just about to make their way out onto the field at the Aviva Stadium. Looks like a decent crowd for this game. Maybe not quite as many as they would have liked to have for this game, but still a decent pre-Christmas crowd setting up here. We have there. I'm leaning on Leinster because it rhymes. You're leaning on Leinster because, well, it doesn't quite. It's almost an alliteration, isn't it, Bruce, rather than rhyming, but I get what you're saying. Tequila takes away hay fever, so I've heard. See, that would be ideal if I wasn't also playing cricket later, because I don't think you're allowed to play cricket under the influence of tequila. We have there, Ulster, you can do it, says Ruth, and Ulster by 3. And also we have got there, thanks, win with Hamish here. It's getting better now. And also thanks, says Bruce. And there. But they are just showing Rieko Ioane in that midfield alongside Charlie Tector. Now, these are the type of games that Ioane was actually brought in for when he did get signed for Leinster initially. It was when those players from the Six Nations, certain guys, Robbie Henshaw, Gary Ringrose, they're missing from this contest. So that is when, if you bring in someone like a Ioane, you've still got plenty of talent, plenty of ability in there as well. Hamish, you're looking absolutely fabulous again in that grey hoodie, says Ruth. As long as I stop sneezing, that would be ideal. That would be the best case scenario by the time that the kickoff gets underway. We're hoping to get it all out of the way pre-match, and then as soon as the commentary gets underway, we'll be 100% all right. But Werner Koch, always dangerous out on the wing for Ulster. Jacob Stockdale at 15. He's had a great season so far. Same with Robert Balakoon. Almost sneezed again. Jano Augustus also in that number 8 jersey, a player to keep a close eye on. But both sides just about to make their way out onto the field. Hopefully Rieko steps up his game. And then Orford, we've already seen him score once for Leinster, so that is a bonus. One moment, going to sneeze again once more. There we go. I wonder if I did a live stream upside down, whether I'd stop sneezing. Or whether that's just I don't think that's a myth. I don't think anyone's tried that. Hay fever driving me crazy too. When it's horrible in Cape Town today, 130 kilometres per hour. That's a fast old wind. Ruth, hopefully everything did stay intact for you over in Cape Town. Cape Town, they're not hosting a game this weekend, are they, for the URC? I think that the Stormers are away from home, I want to say, up against... Oh, no, they're actually at home up against the Lions, aren't they? It's got to be a little bit dangerous to be playing in a win like that. James Ryan make his way out onto the field, leading out Leinster for this contest. That street pole was swaying in the wind today. Says when? Yeah, that's like anything over about 50 kilometres is starting to get a little bit blustery, but 130 is a bit much for a breeze. Now Leinster getting some decent crowd reaction as they make their way out of the tunnel. I get your mother to commentate. She's working today, so she will be unavailable to be able to do that. We have got there, I like the South African number 8, Ulster, big ball runner, heavy hitter. Hopefully, bro makes the box side. Like I said, if he avoids injuries, he was already in. You know, he was selected in Rusty's initial, I think it was his 55-man training squad for July. He was also on the standby list throughout, I want to say it was November. But yeah, injuries are just the one thing that's hurt him at the moment. Andrew Bracey is going to be the man in charge of this contest. Sam Prendergast getting ready to kick this one off from left to right at the Aviva. We're going to go for one more quick sneeze, and then we're going to be good to go for the match with a bit of luck. We're good, hopefully. But it's kicked off by Leinster. We are now underway. I'm actually getting very good at controlling sneezes, which is one slightly good thing that's come from these streams in terms of my sneeze ability. Nathan Doak going to be rolling this one back. Let's kick it up high. Ulster just have to stay close in this game early. They can't allow Leinster to get that home field advantage going from the get-go. Luke McGrath off to the left-hand side. Around the halfway line at the moment here for the Leinster boys. But now passing across, James Ryan looking for the offload. That hasn't quite worked out. Went into the hands of McCluskey very briefly. Then Sam Prendergast picking it up. Kicks it in behind to Stockdale. Finds himself inside of his 22. Missed tackle from Rieko Ioane. In fact, he slightly brushed the ankle. Managed to take him down. Who's the referee? Italian. It is Andrew Brace, the Irishman in charge of this game. I was thinking for a second he is Irish, isn't he, Andrew Brace? I think he's Irish. Or is he? He might be English, actually. Morning, Amish and everyone. No cricket today, so no junior cricket today, which is why we're able to play or cover this game. But there will be my cricket this afternoon. With a little bit of luck. It looks like the weather's a bit dodgy at the moment, and it might rain. Welsh? Is he Welsh? I can never remember where Andrew Brace is actually from. We'll do a quick Google while we've got our first line out of the day. Andrew Brace. He is looking Irish. Oh no, born in Cardiff, Wales. Brace represents Irish rugby. Okay, so he's Welsh, but he's Irish. Well, he's a bit of a duo situation. James Lowe getting driven backwards. McGrath getting dropped there. Working the breakdown from Ioane to try and keep it on the side of Leinster. I'm about to sneeze once more. We're good again. Tell you what, when you hit the fifth sneeze, you start to get a little bit loopy. But after, penalty. Going the way of Leinster. There was the turnover in the breakdown from Ulster initially, but Leinster do get themselves the penalty now. Sam Prendergast, he was going for that cross kick initially, and then it was taken by Robert Ballacoon, so just giving the ball away. You bless, brother. Says Nars Williams. Yeah, it seems like anything after, I think it was 6 a.m. That seems to be when the hay fever starts really kicking in, which has been brutal so far. India thrashed us again today, says Xander. And Irish doing Irish game. Yeah, Hamish Welsh says Roof. Although if both sides are Irish, it kind of works all right. It's when you got one Irish side and one overseas side that wouldn't do too well. In terms of refereeing, that is. Although we get that in New Zealand for Super Rugby, don't we? In terms of, you'd have a New Zealand versus Australia game and then an Australian or a New Zealand referee in charge of it. Currently, I'm having some URC difficulties with URC TV. Does seem to cut in and out a little bit with their new app. But it's going to be a scrum feed in favour of Ulster. So Leinster obviously going for the corner and not quite getting that line out right. Another chance, not bad. Thank you, Roof. How are you, mate, behaving? Says Nars Williams. Nathan Doak. Ready to feed this ball in. Talking about Angus Bell. Stuff some toilet paper in both nostrils. I think I would look a little bit funny if I did that. Although, honestly, at this stage, it's tempting. Because my nose is just trying to attack me. But now Nathan Doak. Rolling this one back again. He told to use it. So inside of that 22, but he can get a decent old boot on it, Nathan Doak. Doesn't find touch with it, though. Nicely taken by James Lowe. You're never going to job on TV commentating if you can't control your sneezing, which is why I probably wouldn't want one. But now, sitting around the halfway line. Luke McGrath going off to this left-hand side. Chance here for James Ryan. Let's get past Sam Prendergast going on the outside. A collision with Alex Aroka. He's getting driven slowly towards the sideline. Ulster defending nicely so far throughout the early stages. Slimani going back across. Guess what I'm about to do? I will quickly mute. We are hopefully good again. Now, Ulster have got themselves the ball. Nathan Doak going back across the right-hand side. Then you can pretend you're a walrus. Toilet paper up your nose, says Bruce. Now, this one's going to be kicked downfield. Waiting for it. Sam Prendergast, nicely taken again. He will kick this one. Oh, that's almost gone sideways for Prendergast. I don't think it was an attempt at a cross kick. It was more so just the way that it came off the boot. Jacob Stockdale going for the kick in behind. This one's going to sit up nicely for Sam Prendergast. Tackled there, about 40 metres out from the line. McGrath told to use it by Andrew Brace. Currently 5 minutes through in this fixture. Neither side able to score. As of yet again, oh, that looked like taking the man out in the air. Werner Cock will win his side the penalty. And Joshua Kennedy confused about it, even though he's just taken a guy out while he was going for the ball. So a pretty stock standard type of... Yeah, I don't know how he can't think that he gave away a penalty there, Joshua Kennedy, for coming flying through, not even getting close to a hand on the ball and then ripping down Werner Cock along the way. We have got there, dude. This bloke way better than those pansy commentators, even with the sneezing. Says Naz, good evening, welcome back to YouTube. Hasn't been that long, has it? We commentated a game, would have been last Sunday, or last Monday New Zealand time, in fact, between the Bulls and Northampton. So it's only been about 4 days. 5 days. Now ready for this line-out throw, Tom Stewart. And already Andrew Brace just asserting the line-out gap. Throwing it in, nicely taken. This is where Ulster can actually be very handy in this contest. Jacob Stockdale has gone ball. What happened? He shaved his head. Now going off to the right. Ready to use this one. Wasn't really going forward. Big collision. McCluskey there. Taking a few extra metres. It looks like Leinster are turning this into a rolling maul. They've eventually managed to drag him down. That ball does not come out. It's now going to be the scrum feed for Leinster. It was looking dangerous for Ulster there. If the Stormers were playing, there would have been some score already, says Bruce. Like, as in, like, if they were playing Ulster or they were playing Leinster? Or just in general, you're saying that they score early at the moment? I have to say, it's nice to see the Stormers getting some decent support from their supporters. Because last year, when they were in that little bit of a tough patch, and even the year prior, they were getting crucified by their normal supporters who would like to give them a little bit of boost maybe, but it's good to see that they're doing well. We have got their Ulster get moving. Do you like the EPCR TV? Good for live but painful for replaying, can't forward or skip anything. See, I find it painful to watch the games live because there's always that chance that it's going to lag out. Like already so far in this game, I've had to refresh once. And I feel like they're the same kind of thing as the URC, the URC and EPCR TV. 1 second. Collapsing scrum penalty there going against Ulster. But yeah, I find it doesn't work as well as the old one. Don't be rude about the Stormers, Hamish, says Mohadeen. I was just stating literally what we've witnessed on the channel. And like I said, they're doing well at the moment, which is great. It's a little bit similar to what we saw for the Blitzbox, though, how, you know, they had that massive winning streak, and that was when people started supporting them again. But before that stage, they had like 10% of their normal crowd. So it's good to see the numbers picking back up. I see that Bulls and Sharks game is going to be sold out, which is fantastic as well. Jack Conan now making his way forward. Rico Ioane round the side. Lions aren't as bad as the Bulls. Still 0-0. Was hoping for a faster start, says Andy. I think that both of these sides, their defence will really keep this game close. Now the penalty going the way of Leinster. The ill discipline of Ulster might hurt them a little bit here. So that's now about 4 or so penalties against Ulster throughout this first 9 minutes. Always like the Stormers. They're my South African team. Hope they go all the way and win, says Johnny. And also, in general, they're very good at the moment, says Bruce. Oh, that one's going to be booted into touch. Now moving forward down towards the try line again here, Leinster. Sam Prendergast, he will have to be in firm control. Looks like he's already maybe limping a little bit, which is not what you want to see 10 minutes into the contest if you are the coach here. And Leo Cullen. Bulls lose by 50. They did, yeah. Yeah, they didn't quite get going in that game up against Northampton. And hey, all how's life? Says Big Rug. Apart from hay fever, it's going all right. Oh, that ball's going to be stolen by Ulster. That is a brilliant steal in the line out. It was actually once the rolling maul started. Now one of Augustus passes on the outside, finds Timothy. Flying down the wing, tries to get round Sam Prendergast, who has been criticised for his defence. Oh, okay, Nathan Doak has milked that as well as he could. Passes it straight into a Leinster player retreating and gets the penalty. The worst thing is, had they continued that play and just waited a little bit longer to pass it across, like, it probably would have been a great try-scoring opportunity. What's the story all? Abby Xmas says Hori at the moment. Very close game between these two sides. I am about to sneeze again. 1 second. We're good. I actually think this is the worst my hay fever has ever been on a live stream. We're only 11 minutes into the game. And off topic, Johnny, how's the young fella going? I mean, he's going hard on the footy and of course, the respect. Says Nas. Heard England collapsed in the cricket again. Yeah, they did get a decent combo going, or a partnership going, and then it just fell apart again. Jofra Archer and Ben Stokes did well, though. To be fair, I saw the Bulls line up against the Saints and skipped watching it live. Probably not a bad choice, because they were always going to struggle. It was a shame that we didn't see a little bit more fight from the Bulls, though, in that matchup. Declan has been told to release it. Now Stewart, pick and go again. Now popping it in behind. They have got themselves a penalty advantage here. Ulster almost through the middle. Only the 5 metres out from the line. That will be the penalty now. Going against Leinster. That's South African women cricket won. Oh, both captains being called over. That is due to the repeat infringements that we have seen throughout the early stages of this contest. My sinuses are as blocked as my auntie's arteries with cholesterol. That's a new one that we haven't heard before. Okay. Andrew Brace just pretty much giving both sides a stern warning, saying, look, you're giving away far too many penalties. I'm about to sneeze again. I missed the mute button. We're good. But yeah, plenty of sneezes today. In fact, more than ever, we should have had a sneeze count going on the live stream. We have got the South Africa ladies beat Irish ladies cricket, says Ruth. And bless you, says Big Rig. And the two South Africa URC games that are on tomorrow, both on TG4. Ooh, to be able to watch both of those games. They should be quite good. I think that Bull Sharks is an intriguing one. And in a way, Lions versus Stormers is too, just because of the changes that have been made for both sides. Rolling maul attempt here for Ulster. Did you watch BBL? Heat versus Scorchers last night was mental. I watched the first innings. Didn't get a chance to see the second innings of it. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again, just as Ulster get close to the try line. We are back, hopefully. Now, Ulster just a couple metres out from the try line. Timony getting that little bit closer again. Told to release it. Now go on left-hand side. Here for Ulster, another penalty advantage. Pick and go. It's going to be 1 metre short of the try line. They need us to just get that ball touching the white, and they will have their first try of the contest, and they would actually take the lead in this game as well. Now Nathan Doak going back across. Looks like a cross kick attempted here for Ulster. Ball goes out to Werner Koch, who takes it and scores the try. Ulster take the lead away from home. We have got their Indians really going well against Proteas in the cricket. England didn't know what hit them at Lords, says Ruth. And Ulster not ahead of Leinster on the table for nothing, says Wemar. Yeah, that's a nicely worked try for Ulster there. Nathan Doak going back into the pocket. And then the cross kick straight into the hands of Werner Koch. They've called it a lucky bounce, but sometimes you need that. Finishing it off, the $4 underdogs getting on the board early. And Ulster scores yay, and Ulster not ahead of Leinster on the table for nothing. We've got their cricket ladies, eh? I need to Google them to see if any are baddies, says Johnny. Nathan Doak. Now, ready? Stormers will beat the Lions and the Bulls will beat the Sharks, says the head office. Nathan Doak. And add the additional 2 points. And it's right out by the sideline. In fact, it's further out by the sideline than Werner Koch actually scored it, which is interesting. Low favours the prepared mind. Great flat kick. Says studs raise. 14 minutes into this contest. The score will remain at 5 points to 0 in favour of Ulster. One moment. We are good, hopefully. And awesome, Johnny. Don't forget, Warriors just up the road. All the best for young bloke. Now ball in the hand of Ulster here again. Nathan Doak rolling this ball back. Sneezes on. Says Nards Williams. Yeah, this is going to be a long 80 minutes, I can tell you that right now. But it's going to be a very entertaining one for the rugby side of things anyway. Just from the way that Ulster have been able to start this game. A knock-on advantage against Leinster there again. I'm going to go back for the initial knock-on, so we'll be scrum for Ulster. Can't remember who I'm quoting there. Might be Anavjot Sidhu. I don't even know who that is. Weird fact about Lord's Cricket Ground, they have a stuffed sparrow on display. It was hit by a cricket ball in 1936 next to the ball. That hit it, says Big Rig. They were weird in the 30s. To be fair, that's kind of cool. Like, not for the sparrow. Although I'm sure that if a sparrow, like he's probably, or she, I don't know what the sparrow was, but probably one of the more well-known sparrows around then in England, wouldn't it? If that's the case. Bit of taxidermy. Possession at the moment, 60% in favour of Ulster throughout the early stages of this game. So they have started this match exactly how they would have liked to, with the exception of the maybe about 4 penalties that they conceded early. We have got the Hamish mate. Then best medication for sneezes. I'd sniff some black pepper. Honestly, it may even help at this stage. Might have to go take a hay fever tablet at some point soon and see whether or not that does work. Because I was going to take one beforehand, but it wasn't that bad when I first woke up. But obviously it took a little bit for the body to warm up and realise that it wanted to sneeze 50,000 times. Going off to the left-hand side now. Timony going to Werner Koch. Tries to cut back inwards. Doak does end up with the ball. Appreciate you, Naz. And it's going to be a knock-on. So what I am very going to quickly do, ladies and gents, I will go take a hay fever tablet. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. You'll be able to see the chair, but that's about all. But yeah, they are setting a scrum, so it won't take too long. Be back in a very short moment. In fact, well, you guys can still hear me, but I'll quickly go like this. Be back in about 60 seconds. I am back. Right. If that works, we are 100% giving that hay fever tablet a shout out. Hamish, you're gone. I am back now, though. I have hay fever myself, and it sucks. It's a tricky one to deal with, the old hay fever, because there's not much you can do about it if you keep on, like, sneezing. No cushion on the chair. It's like the thinnest little cushion. It's like that thick overall, but line out here for Leinster. They are sitting about 30 metres out from the try line at the moment. That is their own try line. Ready to throw this ball in. Nicely taken off the back. It's James Ryan, I think, doing the hard yards there for Leinster. Oh, no, he's in the background. Must have been someone else. And Black Pepper Hamish, trust me, one sniff. Says Nards Williams. We have their hay fever is a bit weird. I've got it bad because of the wind. Oh, knock on by Robert Ballacoon. Picked up now by, it would have been Scott Penny. Bit of a bounce pass attempted there by Leinster, going to Jack Conan. Back across to the right. It's high by Sam Prendergast. And hello Hamish, hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Other than sneezing every minute of this live stream, Seb, I'm doing good. But yeah, we've had a fair old crack at the hay fever today. Going off to the right hand side. Quick hands from Ulster, going on the outside to Robert Ballacoon, but it's called as forward. So now go back for the scrum. We have got there, cheers Johnny, to use. Says Naz. Now 20 minutes into this contest. At the moment, Ulster have still got themselves the slight lead in this fixture. Great take from Jacob Stockdale. Went up for the ball. And then just slightly forward from Tom Stewart. Yeah, about half a metre forward there. Try a gram of Madra's curry powder up each nostril. Works for me, only kidding. Says DJ. And a honey and ginger. Says Ruth in there. Is that for hay fever or a cold? Now McGrath. Ready to feed this ball in again. It's already doing a little bit of that sideways shuffling there at the scrum time. They have got themselves the advantage. I'm about to sneeze again. 1 second, ladies and gents. Now Leinster, they are 5 metres out. Oh, off the feet in the breakdown though, so they will go right back for their initial penalty advantage, which is way across the field. Evening amigos, how's things, Hamish? Very sneezy at the moment. It's been a brutal old 25 minutes or so, which is weird. Like I mentioned earlier on, I think it's the worst hay fever I've had on a live stream actually throughout the whole channel's existence. And it's not slowing down. It's just attacking me. But is it winter? It's actually summer. Like, it's not really supposed to be brutal hay fever weather, but it just seems to be at the moment. It's driving a nightmare, H. Well, it's not normally as bad as this. I don't know what it is about this live stream, but something about it's made me just sneeze flat out. Maybe I'm allergic to an Irish derby. We haven't covered too many of them on the channel. But this one in particular is just getting the hay fever going. But yeah, driving's normally not too bad because I normally don't have it as bad as this. Must be just something about today. But now, sitting 10 metres out for the line, that will be Dan Sheehan. Popping it across to the right-hand side. This is a great opportunity for Leinster to be able to get that attack going. Oh, tackle made on Jack Boyle. Now looping around again. This is where you normally look for a Sheehan. Just the 5 metres out from the line. Flat ball again. Going to the hands of Charlie Tector. Now McGrath popping it up to Scott Penny. We'll still have to make sure that they stay onside or else they could actually be in trouble here. A little bit of a chance of a warning. Hello there, Ruth C. Sebastian. Good name is you're a champion. Some terrible weather in Chichu, same down south. Not too bad at the moment here, although it was bucketing down yesterday. And it is supposed to rain a little bit later on, but yeah, I'm not sure how much of our cricket we're actually going to get in today. Now around the side, Scott Penny, just short of the line again for Leinster. Told to get on the line for Ulster. Pick and go. Doesn't actually go forward there for Brian Deeney. Last foot has to get on the line. Andrew Brace keeping a very close eye on the players. Oh, he was almost able to reach out there. Alex O'Rourke. 23 minutes through this fixture. Still Leinster looking to strike first in this game. Phase after phase here building. Aren't over yet though. It's only like half a metre here. Dan Sheehan popping it up to James Ryan. He'll be dragged down again. It's great defence from Ulster, not budging. Off to the left. Looking through to see who it would actually be. Who can break the line. Sam Prendergast goes to Rico Ioane. Will be dragged down in the middle of the field. I'm about to sneeze and I feel like that's going to come at a terrible time because Scott Penny getting close to the try line again here. Charlie Tector got close. Oh, rough pass there from McGrath, and they'll go back for another penalty advantage. Here in the UK, we're a couple of days from the shortest daylight day. Are you near your longest day down under to us? I think so. I think we're getting close to the longest day down south. maybe sleeping in your All Black undies giving you the sniffs. I will send you a pair of Springbok undies. Are they known as being warmer, the head office, than the All Blacks once? We have got there, you definitely had a few mild hay fever episodes in the past, but nothing too perilous. That's a fancy word. Close bag on your nose and breathe through your mouth. Might look ridiculous, though, with an audience. See, here's Bruce. And also, we'll get the no cricket for you, Hamish, maybe Sunday. Oh, no, we've still got cricket today. And worst case scenario, I'll just sit in the field and sneeze all day. But, yeah, hopefully it normally sorts itself out after being awake for a while. Like, it's normally, if I'm up for about an hour and a half or 2 hours, then it's fine. It's just that first initial waking up and dealing with it. Now, Luke McGrath, ready to put the ball in again. This one 5 metres out from the line, and Leinster are in a very good position. Going off to the right-hand side, Charlie Tector, just short of the line again. So Rocker thought about going for that ball, but instead will leave it for someone behind him. It's going to be Deeney. Again, they just can't get over at the moment, Leinster. They have been within that 5 metre for about the last 5 minutes. Can't quite get the job done. Vaseline the Tash. Says Eric there. Now on the line again for Ulster. Defending brilliantly. This will really hurt Leinster's confidence if they can't get over here, but another penalty advantage going against Ulster. Referee keeping a close eye on them. Looping around Sam Prendergast. This has to be a try. Ioane manages to score it. And that's come at a crucial time. If you are Leinster, so many opportunities. And they finally break through once again, sneezing again. Mariko Ioane, the man who does get over. It's so good to be on a rugby stream. I need a break from cricket. Them bastards don't realise I have feelings. Says Sebastian. And also we have got there enough of the AV chat. Says Matt. Well, yeah, I kind of have to mention it though, because everyone will wonder why I'm going off to the side every 15 seconds. But Rieko Ioane does manage to score it. But it's popped in behind, and Prendergast just going across. And they're managing to finish that one off. And we have got there, Rico's done well there. Great pass to him. Yeah, he almost fumbled it though, Ioane. Almost let it slip through his fingertips. And then manages to finish it off. Scarlets are in. See, especially, of course, they are playing at the moment as well, aren't they? Good finish from Ioane. This is looking like it could be a close game between these two sides. Ioane doing it crucial. Good hands. Not really, but he did well to regather it after almost dropping it for Rieko Ioane there. Because a lot of the guys, you get a pass like that and you fumble it for a start. Possibly you'd end up dropping it. I did well to hang on and get it over. Yeah, that was well recovered by Ioane. A weird signal to the crowd. I expect a close game. Says Jerry. 27. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, never mind. We're good to go. I thought for a second they were going to do a TMO check on that one. Now Jack Conan. Stepping to the side, inside of the 22 at the moment for Leinster. Now off to the right. Good tackle made by one Augustus. Big South African number 8. Didn't quite get the opportunity this year. 7-0. It could be our last Christmas Cardiff derby. That is true with what's happening in the URC and the Welsh sides. There will be a lot of change next season. Or the season after. I think it's next season, isn't it? And in Auckland for Christmas. Glad for the stream. Says Jerry. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy Auckland. Have you already... I assume you've already made your way there, Jerry. How long are you staying for up in Auckland? Okay, Andrew Brace again just warning both of these sides that their line out isn't quite functioning in terms of the gap between the sides. Now ready to throw this ball in for Tom Stewart. Nah, we got another reset here. Okay, Andrew Brace, he is like a stern teacher there. He is sick of both of the sides just not quite getting on the line. 1 second, I have Right. Currently sitting 25 metres out from the line at the moment. Leinster McGrath. Into the pocket, James Lowe. Could be out last Christmas. Full stop. Nobody knows. Says Nas. And warnings are meaningless if they don't back it up. Yeah, they've had a lot of warnings throughout this game. Both of these sides, in fact. But no one's received any sort of yellow card as of yet. But the lineouts are definitely a part of the game that Brace is getting frustrated with. Because he's had to say about 4 times to the sides, like, I've given you a mark. Now don't change the mark. Loving the commentary. Irishman stuck with no video stream here in France. See you, Sean. So it is greatly appreciated you popping in for the stream. Oh, that's another knock on. This time from Ulster. Doak trying to kick it in behind, but they will go back for the initial scrum. It should be 2028. But Welsh Rugby Union want to do it next year. Let's hope the ref doesn't ruin it. Yeah. There's going to have to be a yellow card at some point for one of these teams. But I just hope that if they both give away a whole heap of penalties, that they both end up with a card at some point in a similar kind of time. Arrived 8th of November. Going back January 24th, I assume that is, rather than 34th. But that's a decent old innings. In Auckland, hopefully you've been enjoying it. This is impressive in terms of the sneeze count. 24th, says Jerry there. Now, Luke McGrath, ready to feed this ball in for the scrum again. 30 minutes through this fixture. Now going off to the left-hand side. Now Sam Prendergast pops it up to Charlie Tector. He is the centre for Leinster who has not scored in this contest. There's the first try coming for Rieko Ioane. Big fin there from James Lowe on Balakoon. Now McGrath. Back across again, Prendergast. On to James Ryan. Not really going forward at the moment here. Just their last 2 phases. Leinster before them, though, making a lot of metres. Another advantage against Ulster. It is going to be for Nick Timoney being in off his feet. I don't think that's the first time he's been penalised for that either. And a new advantage for not rolling away against Ulster, right? They must be getting close to the yellow card now. Rieko Ioane passes on the outside to Soroka. Now space out wide. Good driving run from Joshua Kenny. See Rieko Ioane playing halfback. Goes back across to Sam Prendergast. McGrath. Quickly. And that ball, a cross drop ball from James Lowe, goes backwards. You know, your heart stops for a second when you sneeze. You must have clocked in a full minute of heart stoppage this stream so far. Says Sebastian. Says Sebastian there. That one's going to go into touch. But now, across, big collision there between Werner Koch and Kenny. Nearly your birthday, Hamish. My birthday was early December. So, probably quite far away. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again. Right, we are back. Just showing there, yeah, Timoney not even close to being on his feet in that breakdown. Happy birthday, says Big Rig. Yeah, not quite. It was actually, to be fair, we're close to Daniel's birthday out of the Kiwi lads. His birthday's in 2 days. They're saying there that Balakoon is all right. Oh, that one hasn't found touch from Leinster. Who's the winger for Ulster? So they've got Werner Koch and Robert Balakoon as left wing, right wing in this contest. But now, happy birthday, says Rufus. Yeah, it's still a little while away. Now line out here for Leinster. That isn't actually Dan Sheehan. So, sorry, Gus McCarthy as that starting number 2. I think Sheehan's making his way off the bench, isn't he? Yeah, he is. Now ready to throw it in. Taken at the front by Leinster. Oh, okay, free kick going the way of Leinster there. I think that was for maybe closing the gap against Ulster again. Rieko Ioane tackled by his opposite number in this game, Postlethwaite. Referee keeping a close eye on the breakdown. Jack Conan. It's good defence still from Ulster here. They are down by the 2 points, but it's still relatively close between these two sides. Now pass back across. Frawley sells the dummy. Hasn't had a huge amount of the ball today. That one's going to be given away. Nathan Doak now kicks it downfield. Werner Koch chasing after this ball. It sits up for him. No one will catch him. And that is the try for Ulster that get them in the lead for this game. We know George is still going strong. But how are Daniel and Isaac doing? See, Sebastian, they're both doing well. Isaac's engaged. I think you guys may have known that. Daniel's close to it, I would say, as well. But Werner Koch, he's got a bit of blood coming out of the forehead, but that is a brilliant interception try. South Africa, but still a deuce. Says Yanko. And Werner getting the bounce again. It just seems to be that pure pace can create opportunities. Like Nathan Doak kicked that one in behind, knowing that he wasn't going to be able to get it himself. But Werner Koch was right there, ready to go. Managed to get that ball. I'm about to sneeze again. We are good again. You and George still doing, gonna do a Christmas skit. A Christmas skit. Were we gonna do a Christmas skit? I know that I found on my hard drive the other day when me, Isaac, and George all went Christmas light hunting. But that's not very PG. There's a lot of swearing in that video. So I don't know whether or not I can upload it. The Sharks will win tomorrow. Says Miami Rockets. So they are playing up against the Bulls. A nice South African derby there taking place. A nice take under the high ball for Jacob Stockdale. Where's your favourite fielding position? The one where the ball doesn't go to me. Because my catching this year's only been about 50%. So if I can avoid having to catch a ball, I'm happy. Doak, great heads up rugby with intercept and chip kick. He's a very smart player, Nathan Doak. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for what he does for Ulster in terms of making those decisions of when to go for a kick and behind, when to snipe a gap as well. But currently 12 points to 7. The score currently, James Lowe going off to Slimani. And on, says Ruth. Yeah, I'm not normally straight on from the batters though. Normally I'm at either point or square leg. It's going to be another knock on there. Been a fair few of them in this contest already. And got the Brunners and Coke ready for the double South African derby tomorrow. Says Yanko. Yeah, that ball has been put down by Charlie Tector. And on the ropes. Says Ruth. Yeah, I'm definitely not a boundary fielder though. I haven't got enough of an arm. I should play number 2, Hamish. Only got a scrum, throw line outs and maybe turn it over. No catching required. Says Yanko. Well, to be fair, if I was going to be a forward in a game of rugby, hooker would probably be my best option, because I'm not tall enough to be a lock. I haven't got that pure physicality of a loose forward. To be fair, I don't have the physicality of a hooker either. Once again, about to sneeze again. There we go. I'm slowly turning into Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on this live stream, getting into the Christmas spirit. And off to the left now, Balakoon finds the offload of Jacob Stockdale. He's actually done very well there because he had 2 men making the tackle on him. Still managed to free it up. Now Nathan Doak. Across to the right-hand side again here for Ulster. That looked like a dangerous tackle attempt from Alex Soroka. Okay, Andrew Brace just talking to his TMO about whether or not that is going to be a penalty. Now the fend from McCluskey. He can't get the offload away, or at least not yet, still moving forward. About 30 metres out the line, another advantage against Leinster. And it's going to be for a high tackle. I wonder if that is the one back over the other side. Is Arias Neyman playing? He is not. Nah, missing from this game. Nice offload on the outside. Missed tackle from James Lowe. Has to try and make up for it. Bumped off twice in a row by Tom Stewart. Ulster going again. And that is now their 3rd try in this fixture. But James Lowe, he initially missed the tackle. Had to try and fight back and get the next one made. And got bumped off again by Tom Stewart. And Stormers and Lions, going to be a banger of a match. But Ulster, they are having a banger of a match up here. Nice offload there initially. And yeah, the 2-man missed tackle. James Lowe, get him back and then hit on the wrong side. Tom Stewart finishes it off. There was a massive one. To be fair, that tackle should have been made by Charlie Tector anyway. It's a great finish from Ulster to take more of a lead in this matchup just before halftime. Now Nathan Doak ready to line up this kick. And have the South African teams benefited from the URC? Depends on who you talk to. Some say yes, some say no. But, yeah, I think it just depends on... Oh, hang on. The referees are all having a meeting here. I think they might be checking something. Oh, okay, so they are showing that shot that got put in. They're checking the head contact. Yeah, so he gets him in the head, Alex Soroka. He is a lot taller than the man he was trying to tackle, and the man who he was tackling did dip down. I think it was Jack Murphy. Okay, there is a level change, says Andrew Brace. I don't think this is going to be anything more than maybe would have been a penalty, in which case it would have been play on for now, and then they got themselves the try. So I don't think it's going to be checked too much in this case. Right. Okay, it's only penalty only, so I will go back for the try now. And it will stand, so Ulster have themselves the 17 points to 7 lead. Nathan Doak now has the opportunity to add the additional 2. 1 second. We are good. Nathan Doak charging in like that, costing them the match. Yeah, it could have, to be fair. Like, if he had... Theoretically, if he had got him a little bit worse, then, you know, yellow in that scenario, or even worse if it did somehow become a red, like, you're really hurting your side. Definitely when you are up against it at the moment. Like, momentum is with Ulster. They've scored 2 quick-fire tries since 34 minutes. And he just ducked away and got a bit of a haircut. No big deal, says Yanko. And well, we've seen that carded before. Says Studs Race. Now Ulster, they have got themselves possession. I will mention the kick was unsuccessful. Leinster are selling this match. Trust me, says Stephen. I don't know if they're selling this match. It's just Ulster are actually a really good side this year. And people still don't give them enough credit, I don't think. Just watching replay, and Stewart did awesome there. Says Studs Race, yeah, he just bulldozed his way down the wing. Got through James Lowe's initial tackle. Then also got through Charlie Tector. And then got through James Lowe again with the finish. James Lowe now, the ball in hand, he is going to be tackled nice and low by Charlie Irvine. Back across again. Leinster probably do want to try before the halftime break if they can get one, but currently only the 20 seconds remaining before it reaches halftime. Drop ball from Robert Balakoon, taken by Tom Stewart, spins around Jack Boyle. Being a real handful throughout this game. I'm guilty of not recognising Ulster. Says DJ. Yes, he fought all the underdogs. Like I said, if they were playing at home for this matchup, I think Ulster would have been considered as the favourites. Because currently Leinster, don't get me wrong, they're going to be near the top of the table at the end of the season. But they currently sit in 6th. But Nathan Doak, he'll kick this one out. It's going to be halftime in this contest. 7 points to 17. But a very good start to this match for Ulster. They are fired up, ready to go. What we will quickly do, though, is we're going to go like this. Like this. And like that. I'm going to put up that message, ladies and gents, and I am going to pop away and try and deal with some hay fever. I'm not sure how I'm going to, but we will be away for, I'd say, 5 or 10 minutes, somewhere around there, just to try and sort out the sneezes. I might even go outside and see if that helps. For a little bit, but or else you guys are going to have to listen to me sound like I'm struggling throughout this halftime break with sneezing and all sorts. So we will be popping away for a short moment, but be sure to return in about 10 minutes as the second half is just about to get underway. This game seems done, and geez, that went quickly. Which way is the wind blowing? I'm not actually too sure for this one, but I do know that at the moment momentum is going in favour of Ulster. Honey, says DJ. Delow headbutts Stewart all the way. on the way trying to strong arm him out. The GMO went to the wrong head-eye tackle on purpose. Yellow definitely, if not red and a ban. Says Patriot, I honestly missed it. It looked like, to be fair, James Lowe got his head on the wrong side, which I think did hurt him a little bit in terms of not just the pride, but also with the tackle. Which way? Oh no, I read that one. I got dust allergy, and it sucks. Going outside may well help. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again. But yeah, we will be back in about, I would say, 5 or 10 minutes. Normally we would sit here for the halftime break and do the stats and everything like that, which we still will when we get back. But yeah, hay fever, like I said, worst that we've had it in years. So yeah, I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so, and hopefully I'll have it all sorted. But yeah, we'll see you guys in a very, very short moment. I'm literally just going to walk off to the side and go sit outside and see if that helps with the sneezing. But I will be back. See you guys in a short moment. Chat amongst yourselves. I'm kind of just standing off to the side. You can probably hear me not too bad, to be fair as well. Maybe I just stand up looking up at the sky. See if that helps a little bit. But yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes. See you guys shortly. We are back, ladies and gents. I have realised that the second half was actually just about to start. There was actually a short halftime break. I thought I still had like 5 minutes, so we were coming back to do some stats and whatnot. I went outside, and I think the hay fever's actually not as bad as it was. Fingers crossed, anyway. I just feel a little bit like it's cleared up with a little bit of luck. But second half, at the moment, the way that it sits, it is 17 points to 7 in favour of Ulster. So we'll see how we go. Where's Lily B and Rhea? And who's the other hot South African lady? And Rhea. Who's Rhea? Am I forgetting someone? Rhea. But second half getting underway. Ulster kicking it off to Leinster. Did seem like a short half time. Yeah, that only seemed like it was maybe 10 minutes max. Hamish took touch grass literally. Says Big Rig. It's actually got quite nice outside. The sun's out at the moment, which does mean that cricket looks a lot more likely to be taking place. So Sam Prendergast from inside of his 22 kicks it sideways. Ball does go into touch. Ulster are in a good position on the field. It's not fun. Someone tickling inside of your nose with a toothpick. Says Ruth, and don't be afraid to gargle with strong vinegar for hay fever. I might have to try. Because, like, that's the worst my hay fever has been, I think, almost ever. And I don't know why, because it's not actually that bad outside. Maybe it's a high pollen content or something. Now Ulster looking for this rolling maul. Been told to use it once. Tom Stewart has already scored himself a try. Hi, Hamish and all. Ulster love winning. Love to see it. Says, hey, no, this one's going up high. Nicely taken by Frawley. That was an important mark called. He's done very well underneath that ball, and that was crucial because had Ulster been able to get that ball and maybe scored from there, could have been perhaps the end of this game. Still only 10 points difference between these two sides, though, so plenty of time for things to change. And Leinster not as dominant this season. Yeah, they've had a lot more of an up and down type of year. 3 and 3. 3 wins, 3 losses at the moment. Good start to the weekend if Ulster win, says Hayno. But they were always in with a shot in this contest. Like I mentioned, I think a lot of people have underestimated what Ulster have done so far throughout this year. And, you know, this is just backing up what has already been some very good form for Ulster throughout the URC. Now looking to get this one rolling forward again here. All in the hands of Tom Stewart. Looks like it's rolling in the right direction for now. Although Leinster have already been able to turn one of these rolling mauls into a scrum feed for themselves. Nathan Doak going for a boot just as high as he can. This one, oh no, knocked on by Stockdale. Now open space for Leinster. Enrico Ioane gives it off to Frawley. Oh, almost a steal for Ulster, but wasn't on the ball. Ulster men on rampage. Sears Ruth. Now McGrath goes back to Sam Prendergast again. Chasing after this one, it will be the dangerous Joshua Kenny, who does make the tackle on Berner Cock, who offloads to Angus Bell. Tackle made again by Leinster. Slimani managing to roll out of that breakdown around the halfway line at the moment. Doak gives it off to Harry Sheridan, who does go down to ground pretty quickly. And still a good player. He's had a great game so far. Tom Stewart, and really putting his name in the hat for one of the most informed hookers in the competition. McCluskey. Tackled by Ioane. It's the lone try scorer for Leinster at this point in time. They are yet to put Dan Sheehan onto the field. Although I don't think they'll be a mile away from making that switch. 1 second, I am about to sneeze again. We are good, hopefully. Nathan Doak now going back into the pocket. This one being kicked up high. Jacob Stockdale lurking underneath. In fact, it ended up being Nick Timoney chasing after that. Now James Lowe with his long left boot looking for a 50-22 and he gets it. That's a momentum swinger if you are Leinster. That comes at a perfect time as well. Early on in the half, plenty of time to be able to get things going. Rico Masterclass, says Sniff. And so far, so good, says Ruth. But yeah, Robert Ballacoon. Oh, okay. The changes are being made now. Sheehan is on the field. So is Joe McCarthy. Tyg Furlong. All these Irish internationals making their way on at a very opportune time for Leinster. Let's see if they can make the difference. Slimani getting a few handshakes from his teammates as he makes his way off, but they do know what kind of impact these three that they have just brought on can make. And already Dan Sheehan in the action. Leinster will make a comeback, says their head office. I mean, they're not completely out of this game. 10 points is not a huge amount. Definitely not in this URC season when we've seen so many times that sides that have been down have then been able to come back into it. Now ball in the hands of Leinster around the halfway line. Hey, sorry, I haven't been watching the live streams for a while. Says, what's up, guys? No worries at all. It's great to see you again. Offload there from Beard. In fact, that time it was Jack Conan. Now Joe McCarthy, his first touch of the day. And McGrath back across. This is where they would have loved to have someone like a Jameson Gibson Park. What's Gaelic for bomb squad? Hopefully someone will be able to help you out, but that is certainly what Leinster have for this one, although that ball's going to be dropped. Put down by Charlie. Tector. And now kick downfield Ulster. That is a very strong kick. Almost down into Leinster's 22. That is a huge amount of distance. James Lowe watches it closely. Tries to kick it infield. And it's going to be onside because it touched Ulster's hand. So that is actually really good game awareness from Joe McCarthy, knowing that he couldn't be offside as Ulster did recently touch that ball, so it attacks it. And then gets Leinster the possession. I mean, technically, Joe McCarthy is an international player, but he's low tier. Says Big Rick, I mean, he had one of the standout, was it Six Nations this year or last year that he was, I think it was last year, wasn't it, that he was one of the best players in the whole competition? The way that he was able to play, or at least he was up there in terms of locks anyway. That's a drop ball from Rieko Ioane, knock on there. And it is going to be on the side of Ulster now. And Bumba's squad. And Leinster 21, Ulster 17, says the head office. Well, she gone 3 from 3 off the kicking tee for Leinster in that case. Currently 46 minutes through this game, still 17 points to 7. The way that it sits. 1 second, I am going to sneeze again. Andrew Brace frustrated at the teams again. I think that was because Ulster were trying to slow it down there when they had the advantage. Inspector Clouseau, I would say bomb squad. A little harsh there, reckon he's fairly good. Says Studs Razor, what are you doing? Says, what's up guys? At the moment I am dealing with hay fever, unfortunately, as the red nose to show. I don't think it was red at the start of this live stream either, so it looks like I've been through a bit of a battle. So of the players out there on the field, Leinster, looks like a head injury assessment here for Charlie Tector, which brings Harry Byrne onto the field. Rico puts confidence into the opposition. I think McCarthy holds up to Evan Etzebeth. Well, I know one of them isn't banned at the moment, so that's one big bonus. We got there, bless you, Hamish. Says Ruth. Now Nathan Doak, ready to put this ball in. See, I would have compared him to Arge Snyman, seeing as he's at the same team as Arge, rather than going with a random player who isn't in the same side. Now, moving forward here. Nathan Doak. Well, I reckon Etzebeth is overrated, says Studs Rose. Angus Bell trying to break through the tackle attempt of Alex Soroka. Tackle made by Joe McCarthy. Now, Ulster again kicking this one downfield. We're going to get a 50. Tell you what, it might be close to a 50-22, although it was just inside, says the referee. Uh-oh. Okay, Jack Murphy has just been told by the referee that, he's going to get told off and penalised if he keeps on begging the referee for a 50-22. I'm just saying Evan Smith is better. I mean, he's not trying to kill Welshman. Says Big Rig Joe. Wait, so you've gone from your first initial one, you've said he's a low-tier international lock for Joe McCarthy. And then now you're comparing him to one of the greatest locks. So, there's a lot of leeway between the two. In terms of going for one who's been a veteran of the game for a long time and a young guy in McCarthy who's only recently got the chance at international level. Like, there's always going to be a little bit of a difference there. But in terms of McCarthy's potential, I'll tell you what, he's almost flipped a man on his head there. Maybe he is taken after Etzebeth. That's a joke. That's a joke. Etzebeth's excuse for his thumbing was funny, says Fleshton there. Now, Jack Conan. Tackle made again by Doak. Rolling this one back, McGrath. Inside of that 22. Would Leinster beat Fiji and draw? Probably, yeah. And they'll probably even beat them in Fiji, unfortunately. Oh, that's going to be forward from Ulster. Ball's loose. They'll go back now for the scrum. I'm sure he's better than Brazil's lock. Could you name all of Brazil's locks, Big Rig? Fire them away. Fine, low tier for first tier teams, says Big Rig. So what about his game do you not like for Joe McCarthy? Because like I said, he was actually statistically one of the best locks in, I think it was last year's Six Nations. And then this Six Nations, was it the one that he missed due to injury? So like he hasn't actually played a lot of international rugby in recent times. And the recent games that he was playing before his injury, he was actually going very well. Looks like a sub is going to be made for Ulster now, number 23. Making his way on, that is for Robert Balakoon, Ethan McElroy. He will come on to the field. I don't know Brazil's team very well. It's a shame. And if only World Rugby had decided to go for 32 teams in the World Cup, we would be able to get to know the Brazilian side, as well as Belgium, who almost booked themselves that spot. They were so close to beating Samoa in that game. Now, ball's fed in by Leinster. Still 30 minutes remaining on the clock, and another scrum reset. I think Andrew Brace is sick of both of these teams. He just looks like a guy that's fed up with what we've seen. There's been a lot of stoppages because of line-out gaps being closed and front rows not quite working together for the scrums. But it's a tricky one for Andrew Brace. He has to try and control this game without any sort of real problems. I haven't seen any yellow cards or anything as of yet. But that does not mean that we won't. Right. Let's see if the scrum works this time. Extra 40 seconds off the clock here. It's all time that Leinster can't really afford to be losing for this match. Ball's fed in. Rolled back by Scott Penny, told to use it. Now McGrath going off to Sam Prendergast. Skip past to Rico Ioane. Just managed to fire it on the outside to James Lowe. Google says Ben Donald. Plays lock for Brazil. Ben Donald. I know Ben Donald. Who is Ben Donald? I know of a Stephen Donald, and I know of Ben Donaldson. And fed up ref, says ref. And yeah, a referee who is sick of the teams is not good. Because he will not hesitate to go to the pocket. I'm sure we can all think of an international player we think is overrated. I've always thought Andrew Porter is a terrible scrummager. Says Studs Race. And also lucky Rico isn't playing. Says Sniff. And also we have there, sorry, I had to leave for a minute because I'm on a train and I was going through a tunnel. It's very fancy. Whereabouts are you heading to? What's up, guys? Currently the ball in the hands of Leinster. They are 30 metres out from the Ulster line. My URC TV just cut out again. But it is now back. What is the score of the other team? Says Mohadena. I assume you're talking about that Cardiff Scarlets game. Last I heard it was 7-0. I'll have a quick look now, though, while there is another knock-on from Leinster and into Porirua for work. Hopefully it does go smoothly for you and you have a fast day at work and it flies by. We see there Frawley just passing it to Penny. It was a bit too far out in front of him. So Cardiff are 10-7 up over the Scarlets. And Alan Donald, ex-South Africa cricketer, fantastic bowler. This is all once again using up more time on the clock. 10-7. Says Fleshton. And Ulster just in the team huddle. They'll feel confident going into the last 28 minutes of this contest. If they can just control this game, please tell me you're streaming this afternoon. I am not. I am playing cricket this afternoon. Or at least it looks that way. As the sun is currently out, so it does look like it's going to be a good enough day. Get a game of cricket in. URC TV annoying. Had to refresh. Yeah, I was the exact same. It seems to be at certain times they just have an overload and it doesn't quite want to work, to be fair. I don't think a cricket bowler would do or make a good lock. Depends how tall he was, though. A lot of those, those bowlers at the moment, about 6'4", 6'5". Then that's short for a lock, isn't it? That's a penalty going the way of Leinster. at scrum time. That was against the feed as well. Some nice work from the youngster, Paddy McCarthy. It looks like Leinster are actually going to kick this one towards the corner rather than going for the 3 points. And we did see them go for the corner really early on in the fixture, and they did actually end up with a not straight line out. Though now they have got Gan Sheehan on the field. Could make a massive difference. How tall was Giant Gonzalez? I think he was 7'1" or something like that, wasn't he? 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again before this line out takes place. Yeah, good. Do you think Alex Nankerville will play for Ireland? To be fair, there is a chance. I think he's almost qualified, isn't he? And take a hot ginger tea and plug nostrils with Vaseline. Sam's Ruth, there is an advantage now in favour of Leinster at line-out time. Going back to the right-hand side. Sam Prendergast pops it in behind James Lowe. Little shuffle step. Pops it on the outside. Going down the wing. Chance to finish it off, and he does score it there. Joshua Kenny getting them back into the contest. And that is now going to make the score 17 points to 12. What the hell are you doing? This seems very aggressive the way you're asking that. What's up, guys? But I was sneezing, so I muted so you didn't have to listen to me dealing with it. We have got there Hamish, take a hot ginger. And also we got there Big Lad. Says Big Rig. And there too, but the backline movement. Nice delayed pass from James Lowe. And then just a quick little step from Kenny on the outside to be able to finish that one off. And yeah, just that little bit of extra acceleration. Leinster needed that. They certainly did. Now they are right back in this contest. I'm glad that this game is a close one. There was the initial slight hesitation for this game, not because of the hay fever, but because of the fact that normally when I cover a game that's an Irish derby, it ends up one-sided. This game's been anything but that. Leinster win. Tricky to say. They've got momentum at the moment, although they did miss. How well the pass, how brilliant was that? Superb finish, excellent try. Says, what's up, guys? And also we have got their Leinster clawing back. Says Ruth. Yeah, good backline movement there. And it was just that little delay from James Lowe. Didn't throw the pass straight away. Made them think about it for a little bit. And then Kenny flying down the wing, getting around Murphy as well as I think it was one of the men in the loose ball tree. I want to say it was Nick Timoney. I could be wrong. Now, 17 points to 12 at the moment. The way that it sits, James Lowe. Nice offload to Jack Conan. And it does seem like ever since those changes, or those 3 changes have been made for Leinster, seems like there's a little bit more momentum in their favour. We have got the no disrespect, mate. I've been counting your sneezes, and there's more points than Leinster at the moment. Jokes, mate. Says Nas Williams. There's been a lot on this stream, like an unnormal amount of sneezes compared to like any other stream where I've got a bit of hay fever. It's like 5 sneezes, maybe 10. This one we're up to like 20. We're only 55 minutes in, and Leicester, I still have got a good chance to win. The gap is closing. Says, what's up, guys? I have most money on Leinster. Was it when they were underdogs or favourites? Philip, do let me know. Now ready to throw this one in for Ulster. They are just talking about that tactical game of Ulster here. How it's too early in the game to try and just close it out with playing a bit of territory. They still have to score, I would say, at least one more try. If they score one more, no matter what from this game, they get a bonus point. And I would almost argue if they score one more here, they will be guaranteeing themselves at least 2. Because I don't see Leinster winning by more than that 7-point margin if Ulster were to score again. And your nose is red too, so that explains it. Yeah, it wasn't red at the start of the live stream. Which tells you how much it's been happening throughout this one. Now going off to the right-hand side, Frawley nicely grabbing that one. Pendulum swinging again. Imagine trying to bat when you need to sneeze. I've had it before at practice, not in an actual game, luckily. But I can imagine in a game it would be brutal because there's so many things happening as well. You got to concentrate on like not just the ball, but also your running as well. But advantage over. Still in the hands of Leinster. Where's Philip Bailey? Cape Town. Says Ruth, he is missing from this game. I assume we'll see him for the South African derbies tomorrow, which we are going to be covering on the channel. What is the solution for watching this game in France? There's URC TV for us here in New Zealand. I don't know whether or not that's the French broadcaster though, so I would definitely recommend looking around first to make sure that that is the case. Another penalty. This time going the way of Leinster. This is a bit brutal. But ball is on the side of Leinster, penalty in their favour. How many tries is that now for Rico? He has scored the one at this point in time, which is still decent. It's almost more than he scored for the Blues. In fact, it is more than he scored for the Blues for about 500 days up until the most recent Super Rugby season. Now Dan Sheehan with the line-out throw again here. We have good there, OMG, you need to cancel the stream because you are sick. Says, what's up, guys? I feel like we've committed so much, though. We're already 3/4 of the way through, so to close out now would just seem a bit strange. But we're going to power through. She'll be right. Luke McGrath going off to the right-hand side again here for Leinster. They sit 15 metres out from the try line. Paddy McCarthy with a pick and go. Getting it to only the 5 metres away from the try line now. A little bit slow getting back up to the feet as well. The replacement Lucy Prop for Ulster. Now he has to try and make the tackle on Gus. Or in fact, that time it was Joe McCarthy. Now back across to Tyke Furl. I'm running that one a little bit too high. Do you get itchy eyes? That's worse bit of hay fever. I actually don't get the itchy eyes part of hay fever. So that's one bit that I'm like kind of thankful for. But my nose just runs and I just sneeze flat out. Oh. Dangerous clean out from Blue 5. That is James Ryan. You need a sneeze counter with an overs under betting line. Says Studs Race. Speaking of, we're going to add another one just now. We are good. Right, so James Ryan, he's only just come back from an injury. Just blow your nose. I have about 50 times on this live stream. Every time I've sneezed, or a majority of the times, I've blown my nose as well. So it's not quite as simple as just blow it and you'll be right. They're just checking this one to see whether or not James Ryan has done something bad here. And like they said, it will be a throwback to what we saw not too long ago. Okay, it is going to be foul play against James Ryan. Oh, they're saying clear head contact. Okay, he's hit him on the back of the neck. Just cancel this stream. Nah, we're all right. We'll keep going. Right, this will be an interesting decision. Because it's a stationary jackler over the ball. It meets yellow card threshold. So that is Leinster's momentum gone. They've given a yellow card to Jack Conan. He was the one who did it, though. They've realised now that it was James Ryan. Oh, that was legal when Jack Morgan did it. Jack Morgan did it. Carlo Tizzano. That is true. Once again, consistency, something that we don't really see across the laws at the moment. I hope you feel better at Christmas. I think I'll be fine. Like yesterday, I was fine. Day before, fine. Tomorrow, I'll probably be fine. And just something about today. Apparently, 20th December. Not sure why. Second time around for Ryan. He should know better. Says John. Right, that one's gone into touch for Ulster now. A shame it's not South Africa. They always play better after a card. Says Big Rig. Yeah, James Ryan, he will be off the field for the next 10 minutes of this contest, and that is more than enough time for Ulster to get themselves another try here. I've hardly seen Jano Augustus. Yellow card for Leinster. It is indeed, yes, yellow card for number 5 Leinster, James Ryan. A ball claimed by Ulster. Moving forward. At the moment, ref is a bad joke, says Stephen. Now Nathan Doakey thought about going for the box kick, but instead will give it off to McElroy, who will kick it in behind and giving it straight back to James Lowe, looking for his 50-22, but it's kicked out on the full. Okay, James Lowe saying that that one was touched. Okay. So James Lowe has just been told to stop shouting at the referees again. So that's not the first time in this game, and it won't be the last time either that we see both sides getting warned for the way that they're talking to the referee. But James Lowe felt like that hit Werner Koch. Now back across to the left-hand side. That one's gone through. It does go backwards to the hands of Jacob Stockdale. Rugby score says James Carty at the moment 17 points to 12. Close game between these two sides. Do you think Leinster can win? They've got potential to win, but it's whether or not they actually get it right here for Leinster. Because like that yellow card hurts them, but if they don't end up conceding during this 10-minute period, they are more than in this game. He knew they had momentum, so give a yellow card. Says Stephen. I mean, refs are to just penalise that as dissent. Yeah, it's about the fourth warning we've seen for the sides in this match. We saw Murphy earlier on get warned. Saw James though there. Another penalty awarded to Ulster now. Oh. And they have now been marched the 10 metres. Andrew Bray's finally sick of it. Deciding that they have to start giving those. We have their referee is already angry. I'm at my stop. I've got to go. Bye, Hamish says, what's up, guys? So we will see you later. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again. We are good. With like to W. Maybe would like the W from Timothy there. Hope Cock is all right. Says Sniff. But yeah, getting marched for 10 for Ulster. So there's obviously been a lot of chat out there on the field up to the stage. And we've heard Andrew Bray's warn sides multiple times, like stop back chatting. If there's anything, they will find it. The ref has been able to just watch him, says Stephen. Now, it's going to be a chance here for Ulster to be able to line up the 10. Line up the kick from about 40 out. This will get them to an 8-point lead. RF has been, a disappointing mother all game. Yeah, both sides have been really trying their best to get penalised and annoy the referee. So, I mean, they're accomplishing it at the moment with our first marching of 10. Nathan Doka puts it into kicking distance for him. And Doka's got it over. That's going to now make the score at 12 points to 20. The 19 minutes remaining. James Lowe likes being irritating. He is good, though. Says DJ. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of frustration out there on the field because both of these sides going into this game would have felt like they were good enough. Yeah, he's been against Leinster all night. Says Stephen, although throughout the first about 5 minutes of the game, I think he penalised Ulster 4 times in the early stage. 2-score lead, baby. Says Big Rig, looks like Jack Conan has got a bit of a knee injury here. Is he going to continue or is he getting taken off? It looks like he is limping towards the sideline. Nah, he's going to keep on playing Jack Conan. He is a tough individual. And that Leinster loose forward trio and his opposite number there, one of Augustus, taking the ball for Ulster back to Doak. Does send it into touch. It's finished. Leinster never come back. To be fair, they can still come back into it. Thoughts on Werner Koch? Says Sniff, very good player. And I'll be honest, when the Sharks let him go to Ulster, I knew that they had let someone who was a very talented player go. Because, he's just got that pure pace. He's got that determination. A little bit of feistiness about him too. Table favours Ulster. It's early. But there's there's form. I think it is from Eric. Quick tap taken by Leinster due to Ulster closing the gap. Now McGrath trying the sniping run, almost got through, tackled by Juan Augustus. Now, offload from Gus. In fact, that time it was Joe McCarthy. There are 3 McCarthys on the field, or at least there are 2 now, because the other McCarthy went off. So the only one who's off the field is Gus, but Paddy and Joe both out there. I would like to watch the game listening to commentary, says Timothy. So your best bet to be able to do that, if you are in Ireland, I believe there is a free-to-air option for this game, but I'd recommend checking out the URC website because they've got the Where to Watch tab, which will tell you exactly how you can do it depending on where you are in the world. Now going off to the right-hand side, McGrath goes to Sam Prendergast, short little pop pass. Up to Dan Sheehan. McGrath again. Left-hand side, skip pass from Prendergast right over the top, goes to James Lowe, finds Ioane, gets driven backwards that little bit further. The only good version of Carthyism. And also Cock winning hearts all over. It's built like a boar too, says Eric. Now McGrath pops it up to Joe McCarthy, makes a couple crucial metres. Now across, Sam Prendergast. They're still under penalty advantage. This one's kicked high. 3 Leinstermen chasing after it. Ball bounces again. Awkward one slapped back for Ulster. That was almost a high shot. Player was going down. Looks like an injury here for Kieran Frawley. He may have really badly hurt his leg. That one's going to be kicked in a touch by Ulster. Nice clearing kick, but I think that maybe Frawley's leg got stuck underneath that breakdown. He looks in a bad way at the moment. So 16 minutes remaining on the clock. I believe that would mean another 5 minutes remaining of James Ryan's yellow card. Just the 8 points separating these two sides. Leinster needs some form of point soon. They were close there. Okay, I was wondering what was going on there. Nick Timoney's pretty much said that he feels like Leinster are running through and impeding on them when it comes to the aerial ball. And pretty much saying that he wasn't going for the ball, he was actually just trying to make contact with the Ulster player. And oh dear, what games are you covering this weekend? So we have got the two South African derbies, Lions versus Stormers, as well as Bulls versus Sharks. But those are the only other two games they've got. Try, no try at this stage. Kick downfield from Ulster, so it will be a line out for Leinster, sitting about maybe 35 metres out from the Ulster line. What's the lineup? Says Ruby, 1 second, we'll go like this, and we will go like that. So that is Leinster's side. They have made some changes, though. They've got Joe McCarthy on the field now, Dan Sheehan, and also Tyke Furlong. They've all made their way onto the field off of the bench. Rico Ioane, he has scored himself a try alongside Joshua Kenny. Those are the two try scorers for Leinster at this point in time. And then for Ulster, familiar faces in that back three of Werner Koch, Balakoon, and also Jacob Stockdale at 15 there. Nathan Dokes had a solid game. Timoney, Augustus, and McCann. They make up the loose forward trio. And Tom Stewart, he has scored a very strong try, although now he makes his way off the field with a blood bin due to the nose. It looks like it just got busted a little bit. And 17-21, Scarlets versus Cardiff. Similar scorelines. Says question, 1 second, I will quickly mute. We are good. And also we have good there, but will you be wearing a Christmas jumper this weekend? Probably not, no. I don't think so. If I wasn't dealing with so much hay fever, I'd consider getting the Santa suit back out. But probably won't, because I'll just end up drowning inside of it on the beard hairs. However, thanks, Irish, and their blood types. Says Ruby, I'm not familiar. O negative, I think, is the most common, isn't it? Not very festive. Says Big Rig, I mean, I've got the red nose, so I'm already half dressed up. What about a Santa elf hat? Says Big Rig, although it's only going to be the 21st. So it's a bit early, and some people would get annoyed that it's not Christmas time when you're doing it. Now around the side, Paddy McCarthy, and that little bit closer. Now McGrath, hopping it up again, Jack Conan. It's in just the 2 metres out from the line. It's where Leinster do need the try. They score now, this game changes. Max Deegan also making his way onto the field now for Leinster. Still onside Ulster. The referee's keeping a close eye on them, though. He has all throughout this game in terms of that offside line. Now, another advantage. This time it is 4 offside. McGrath looking off to the left. Going across. Harry Burns skip past to James Lowe, who runs it in and scores the try. And Leinster are back in this game. But you're not streaming at Christmas. So I don't need one. That's what you're saying. Now we have got their tackling, says Eric. And also we have got their Doak at the ref chatting away with Ulster players. There his friend, says Stephen. James Lowe, he scores himself the try here for Leinster. On off to the left-hand side, it was a great skip pass from Harry Byrne. And 14 lads too. It seems to fire up sides. Or at least recently it has. Anytime a side goes down, they actually seem to score more points than their opposition. Will you be covering any Wars games next year, please? At least one. I am hoping to do a couple Warriors games along the lines. Of course, there will be some overlaps with Super Rugby, but hopefully not too many. One's going to miss away to the side for Byrne. I notice the ref is biased. Guys are quiet now. Says Big Rig. And also, come on, Leinster. Says Philip. And also, I thought Leinster would take it. Just joined. Was a bit shocked when I saw the scoreboard, says Ruby. Yeah, this one's getting close. And it seems like the other game that's taking place at the moment is extremely close as well, between Cardiff and the Scarlets. I respect to the Kiwi Low. I'm a South African rugby fan. because I'm a big fan of one Augustus Love Ulster Rugby, says Timothy. And also, I mean, they've got Verna Cock too in that side, so a little bit of South African flair amongst that Ulster team. And try Geordie Barrett, says Sniff. Now, rolling this one back. Oh, that was almost charged down by Ulster. I don't think it clipped the finger, though. So it is now going to be Ulster, who have got themselves the line out. Currently just the 13 minutes remaining on the clock. No matter what from this game, you'd expect one of these two sides to get a bonus point. And Close Rugby Union is the best sport. Says Big Rig. Now throwing this one in, Tom Stewart. Oh, no, sorry. It's actually the replacement for Stewart because his nose is still busted, so it's John Andrew. We'll throw this one in. It's gone over the top. Running onto it. Great hands from McCluskey. Trying to get the offload away. Hasn't been able to. They've actually done really well to shut down his offloading game, although this time now gets it away after another couple metres made in contact. Nathan Doak on off to the left-hand side. Now Doak again. Looking for the cross kick. Taken by Nick Timoney. Oh, a big bump off on James Lowe. 10 metres out from the try line. Chance again for Ulster. If they score now, they get themselves a bonus point. When Kiwis start talking about South African flair, you know, Rassi did something. Says Ruby. I mean, although you've got Wano Augustus and Verna Cock. So two guys who aren't in Rassi's setup that I was talking about who had flair. So it could be a bit of a stretch, but I get what you're saying. Also, Tony Brown, he gets a lot of credit too. It's like all the fun of the ball game and all the fun of a fight in the same event. And I don't know if I thought I'd try sound brainy and type low. Says Nazi. Oh, the coverage of the URC TV has just cut out again. It'll be the third time on the stream. Sam needs to get on the stake. Says it was from Piscott. Oh, it is just loading. Leinster kicker is shocking. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again. We are good. Had to find the unmute button as well as turning down the coverage because it did just refresh. It's going to be a scrum feed for Leinster. They sit about the 10 metres out from the try line. Yes, boring kicker. It's okay, Hamish. I was just stating the obvious. But it wasn't the obvious, was it? Because it was different players. Oh, we have good there. If he could kick, they'd be winning. Says Stephen. Now ready to put this ball in for McGrath again. Just the 10 minutes now remaining on the clock. So not a lot of time for Leinster to get back into this game. But theoretically, they can still get 5 points from this contest if they were to score now. They get the bonus point for being 4 or more tries on the board. Now James Lowe trying to step through. Offloading up to Sam Prendergast. He's running sideways. And a nice step again there from Kenny. The Boks are the best team in the world, to be fair. Rassi is doing something right. Says Big Rig. Now Sam Prendergast. Sit across to James Lowe again. They got depth for days. Says Big Rig, and they will go back for that initial scrum penalty. And TikTok says Jerry, yeah, only the 10 minutes left. Although this game is close enough that either of these sides still have a chance of being able to win it. Vicks Vapor rub up the nostrils. Also does work, but it makes the eyes water. Says Ruth. And please, Leinster, go try again, says Philip. And I've got time, and that's a decent kick downfield from inside of their own 22. And great game by Ulster so far against the odds. And next score wins the game. Yep. And the thing is, if it's Ulster who score next, they can theoretically get 5 points from this game, and they can stop Leinster from getting any, which would be huge confidence for them. If Leinster score next, Ulster will still get themselves the bonus point. Why are you so obsessed with shoving various things up Hamish's nose? Says Big Rig. Now back across to the right-hand side. Frawley. Into the hands of Kenny again. He's actually had a very strong game out on the wing, Josh Kenny. Seems like he could have that X factor pace that might change the game. Byrne with a short ball. McCarthy, that was slapped back by Ulster, so there will at least be the advantage. Here comes Rico Ioane. Passes one more. Going down to Max Deegan, who was flying down the wing. Verna Cock with a bit of hustle in the breakdown. Forces the error right. Leinster want the penalty. They are in the ref's face. What is the decision going to be? Too much sex makes y'all sneeze, says Pix. Well, it obviously isn't the case for me, and I'd hate to know how much I would be sneezing if that was the case. No, I read that one tonight. Next score wins the game. They're just showing it here. It was a knock-on from, I think it was David McCann, the extended hand forward. A penalty for Leinster. It is at least probably a penalty there for the knockdown. Oh, okay, because there's a line break, he will go to the bin. And that is going to be now the 10 minutes off the field for David McCann. That will take him out of the game for the rest of this matchup. Also 5 points up on Leinster with the game in hand. Says Eric, take the points and receive the kickoff, says DJ, and Rico with the distribution skills. It's been a while since we've seen that. Says Studs Racing. It's a bit similar to what we saw for Geordie Barrett, how when he went to Leinster, he seemed to get a little bit stronger. Yeah, just coming off the fingers, and you can see it straight away. David McCann knew that he was in trouble as soon as he stuck that hand out. But it does mean that Leinster have got themselves the penalty 45 metres out from the line. And Leinster with the Uno reverse card, says Big Rig. Although I did say earlier on, if one of these sides got yellow carded, the other probably wouldn't be a mile away. Although I did think it would be for a different side of foul play, rather than like the clean out and the breakdown as well as a deliberate knockdown. I thought it would just be repeat infringement. There's 6 defenders on the outside, harsh to give the yellow there. They kick it into touch now. And Leinster with 8.5 minutes remaining have a chance. Try and get some momentum towards the try line. Referee calling for the numbers. It's been a frustrating old day at line-out time for them. Yellow Cup Ulster? Yes, indeed. So they are playing with 14 men now for the rest of this contest. Taken by Jack Conan. Back across to the right-hand side. I will mention Finton Gunn has made his way onto the field as that number 21 option. Now Prendergast pops it in behind for Leinster. Are they going to be able to come back at the Aviva and get themselves a very important win for the URC season? They currently sit 3 wins, 3 losses. This one would be a massive booster. Rico Ioane bumping off one. Almost getting through another, but that ball recycled. Finton Gunn going to Sam Prendergast with some brilliant hands to Harry Byrne. Ref said 6-7, says Colin. May the best team win. And also Ulster needs some Red Bull about now. Yeah, this pace has been pretty brutal throughout this matchup for these two sides. Trying to get in a breakdown was Nick Timoney. Has to make sure not to give away another penalty here for Ulster, or else they could find themselves down to 13 for the final 7.5. Oh, directional change. Sam Prendergast looking for the grub, and no one really chasing after it. They didn't have the advantage either. So just giving away possession there if you're Leinster. Now McElroy running that one forward. Leinster trying to get the steal and the breakdown. They actually get it, so that was a little bit lucky for Leinster. They gave away the ball, but got it straight back. 1 second, I'm about to sneak. Like they said, it didn't quite sit nicely for Ethan McElroy after he did get tackled. You got it the wrong way. Or wrong every time. If he sneezes, you're supposed to take a sip, says Robert. Yeah, just straight in the breakdown. That was lightning quick from Leinster to be able to get that steal. That was Scott Penny who managed to win it. But now line-out chance here. Dan Sheehan with the throw there. 5 metres out from Ulster's line. The momentum has completely shifted again. Can they finish it off here if they're Leinster? Or if you're Leinster, I should say. This will be a bonus point too if they manage to score at least 1 from this contest, if not guaranteeing 2. We've been told to use it. They're close to the try line. They are over. It's Dan Sheehan who manages to score. And Leinster take the lead, I believe, I want to say, for the first time in a long time in this contest. I think they were up 10 points to 7, maybe, in this game, but it's a lot of points in quick succession, or 10 points to 5, maybe it was. Oh no, it might have been 7-5. We're just doing the maths in the head at the moment. Let's go. Says Philip. And yes, says Jerry in there. Munster versus Ospreys tomorrow. So Munster have to beat Ospreys by 20 points to 37. Says, where are you in there? Gets over the line. Dan Sheehan, how many times has he scored off a rolling maul? Looks like the poll was right after all. Says Big Rig, although this game once again still not over. 5 minutes left on the clock, but Leinster have made it so that Ulster need a try if they were to win this game. Now, Leinster at the moment would get 5 points from this contest. Ulster would get 1. If Ulster score again, they would get 5 and Leinster would get 2. So there's a lot of points that are up for grabs here. If Leinster were to score again here before the end of the game, then Ulster would receive 0 points from this game, which would feel a little bit under the amount that they deserve, because they've had a very strong showing out there, but Leinster starting to find their rhythm. This one's going to be kicked off high. It's a mistake off kickoff from Leinster, so the ball sits up for Werner Koch now, and Ulster have the ball around the halfway line. Great low tackle made by Joe McCarthy. That sport, though, someone's got to lose unless you draw, I guess. Says Big Rig, that is true. Oh, knock on there from Ulster. I've been told to get out of it, Ulster, and they will go back for the scrum. This one in favour of Leinster. So this will use up another minute or so off the clock. Currently sitting 76 minutes through. McCarthy, he's had a huge effort since making his way off the bench. He's had some great tackles made. Yeah, just forcing that ball out. That is Paddy McCarthy, I should clarify, and alongside Dan Sheehan. Calm heads, do the simple things right. Good to see Leinster pulling gains from the fire resilience. Yeah, and at this stage of the season, they needed a big game like this. Of course, this can all change if Ulster manage to still win from here. But in terms of Leinster's confidence, to be able to come back from behind, down by the 8 points at one point in this contest, it's just exactly what they would have wanted, to be able to know that they can still fight like they have throughout recent seasons. Still 5 minutes, only one score in it, although Leinster are looking pretty secure now. Yeah, by the time the scrum takes place, there will only be about 3 minutes left. Any games after this today, or just the ones tomorrow. So just the 2 South African derbies remaining of the weekend that I am going to be covering. And then next weekend, I think we've got 1 or 2 games as well. Ball's going to be fed in now. And waiting for this one at the back. Finton Gunn told to use it. 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock at the moment, and Leinster have got themselves the ball. Sam Prendergast going for the kick in behind, play in territory, and it's a very nice kick. Won't be a 50-22, but we'll put Ulster in an uncomfortable spot on the field inside of their own 22. Enjoyable game, Ulster fans round me are not so happy after that, says Jimbo. Yeah, the momentum has just shifted throughout the second half. We've seen a lot more of Leinster with the ball. I think Ulster had about 60% possession for that first half, but they just haven't been able to break through in the second half anywhere near enough, I don't feel. And they've got dangerous options. 3 minutes, says Philip there, and it will be Tom Stewart, who has made his way back out onto the field after that busted nose. Ready to throw this one in, and it's stolen by Leinster. This could be their moment now to be able to close out this game. Scott Penny tackled low. Finton Gunn picking and choosing exactly who to go to. And if you're Leinster, all you want here is a penalty advantage, but they've knocked it on instead. Harry Byrne. It's a bit of a rough pass, and the penalty awarded for Ulster. And they've been March 10 as well here, Leinster. I will make oil with my ass. I have no idea what that saying means, Philip, at all. I've never heard that one. What do you mean by that? And I'll talk about a bad penny. But the turnover chance here for Ulster. And here we go, and March 10 metres, says Studs Racer. Yeah, now Ulster will get themselves more than likely the last attacking chance of this contest. And resilience pays in the end, says Jerry. Yeah, although Ulster feel like they've still got a chance. I clench my buttocks, says Philip. Now, ready for another line out here. And this one is more crucial than the last. The last one they did lose. This time Ulster have managed to grab it. If Ulster win with 14 men, then I'll laugh. Says Big Rig, that sounds ominous. Says Ruby, now looking for this rolling maul. Thought about the inside ball for McCluskey. He's had a solid game at 12 for Ulster as well. Nathan Doak, that ball's gone backwards. Oh, had a little bit of indecision there and almost cost them possession. Now 1 minute left on the clock here. It's do or die for Ulster. They are currently receiving a bonus point, but if they score now, they'll receive the full 5. Postlethwaite looks for the offload, and his big prop wasn't able to hang on to it that time. Sam Crean just wasn't ready for it. And they'll go back now for the scrum. 40 seconds remaining. They just have to get this ball in and out if you're Leinster, and you win. Don't know why clenching your bum matches your body telling the truth. Well, that's what they say. Says Big Rig. Well, there you go. Right, time is off. 24 seconds remaining at this point in time with the time off. So all Leinster have to do is get that scrum in, get it out, and they will win this game by 4 points. They get themselves a 5 boost on the board in terms of the leaderboard of this standings. 1 second, we'll go like this, we'll go like that. So Leinster winning this game would boost them up into 5th place. They don't go ahead of Ulster because of points differential, plus Ulster will receive a bonus point, so they will stay in 4th. But it's a step in the right direction for Leinster. Of course, I don't want to jinx it because they still have to get this scrum in and out. It looks like Nathan Doak is about to be taken off of the field, which means that Connor McKee will get a whole 1 second out there on the park. Finished almost. There's 20 seconds remaining in this contest. 5 points to Leinster. Great match. Says Jerry. Yeah, it's been a back and forth type of game. Ulster looked like they had done enough to be able to take out the victory, but in the end, looks like Leinster, the control of the game, might have been enough. And good comeback, Leinster. Says Big Rig there. But now, McKee will get about 3 seconds out there on the field without the ball. Ready to feed this one in now at scrum time. Put in by Fint and Gunn. Not even close to being a straight scrum, but that is what you are used to seeing now. And it's put into touch by Sam Prendergast, and Ulster win it. Leinster win it at the Aviva. Ulster took their foot off the gas in the second half. Yeah, they didn't seem to have that next gear that they needed to find. What a comeback, says Stephen. I guess I'm behind the Guinness, says Jimbo in there, and Postle's Weight, says Ruth as well. But yeah, very nice win for Leinster. And cheers, Hamish, and everyone. See you next time. So the next streams that we have got will be the South African derbies taking place throughout the middle of the night here in New Zealand. But we will be here for both of them. Stormers versus Lions, as well as Bulls versus the Sharks. But yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.